I will never send my photos to guys again. Hello, I'm Julie, I'm 21, and now I'm gonna tell you why I said this. Last year, I met a guy online. His name was Drake, at least that was the name on his profile. At first, our correspondence didn't mean anything to me, and then I got so used to his daily messages that I couldn't put my phone down and shared everything that was going on in my life with him. Experiences, thoughts, worries, and my personal photos. Drake himself asked me to. At first I was shy, and in the photo I even put a shirt on over my underwear. But he was delighted. He said that I was incredibly beautiful and had nothing to be ashamed of, and asked me to send more. I sent another photo, and then another, and another. This went on for several months. Each time he asked for a bolder and more revealing shot. Now I'm ashamed to talk about it, but I like getting admiring compliments from him, so I didn't object and continued this one-sided photo shoot. When I was finally tired of it, I told Drake, but he ignored me and asked for new photos. Then I decided to express that I was offended by not contacting him for more than a day. In response, I received one voicemail, and here's what it was. Your whole city, your friends, classmates, and teachers in college, and your whole family will see your cool photos. He was gonna show everyone who I really was. My life became a nightmare. Drake blackmailed me and asked me to send new photos in exchange for his silence. Out of fear that he would fulfill his threat, every evening I regularly followed his instructions. But he became really picky. He said that my photos were totally boring and I wasn't trying. He asked me to come up with something new, immediately retake the photos, and somehow surprise him. This went on for 2 weeks. I began to get startled when my phone would vibrate because his messages were frightening and kind of disgusting to me. And then one day he suddenly messaged me and said that all of this had finally bored him and we were taking things to a new level. He followed up with a voicemail and went like this. You must come to my house immediately and do everything that I tell you to do. I texted you the address. I'm waiting. He sent the address, but I couldn't believe my eyes. Our city is small, and the mansion indicated in the message belonged to a well-known local businessman. I couldn't believe that this person was capable of such depravity. I decided that it was all a prank, and Drake was an ordinary loser sitting on the other side of the screen and pretending to be a different person. I refused to go anywhere. In response, Drake warned me for the last time that if I didn't come right away, then tomorrow my not-so-good photos would be on every billboard in our city. You're a fool, I told him. Of course, I didn't believe this nonsense and stayed at home. In the morning, on the way to class, I saw myself 10 times larger on a huge billboard in the city center. After a few more meters, on another one, and then another. As it turned out later, Drake wasn't lying and really lived in that lavish mansion. He was the son of that well-known millionaire. It wasn't difficult for him to turn my stupid flirt into a real scandal. All through the day, my phone was blowing up. Relatives, friends, and even complete strangers called and called me. Some sympathized, some were just curious, and some insulted me with the most disparaging words. And although my image was taken down from the billboards that evening, I just couldn't go back to school. I couldn't meet my friends at Starbucks like before, or even just go to the store or the mall. It seemed like everyone was laughing at me behind my back. So I left college and moved to another city where no one else knows me, and where I'll never send any of my photos to a guy from some social network page who I practically don't even know. That's my story. Write in the comments about any experiences you had similar to mine, if you've had any that involve strangers like that online. Thanks for watching.
I'm Kate, and 3 years ago, when I was only 20, I made an irreparable mistake. My boyfriend at the time, now ex-boyfriend, asked me to send him a photo of me in my underwear. I stood in front of the mirror, stuck a flirty pose, and snapped a couple of shots. They turned out awful, not a hint of backside. No matter how far I stuck it out, there was no perkiness to my obviously curvy body. I had nothing in common with fitness goddesses from the internet, whose half-naked photos I liked every night. The next day, I went to the gym in sweatpants and my boyfriend's huge t-shirt, so as to hide my unsightly figure. I was terribly self-conscious and thought that everyone was looking at me. I didn't even dare to approach the bar on the first day, but I firmly decided that I would earn my right to tight-fitting leggings, a short top, and a photo by the mirror in the locker room showing my abs. I trained every day, did 15 hours of cardio a week, and maintained a low-carb, almost fat-free diet. My body was exhausted, my nails began to break, the drain became completely clogged with my hair after washing, and I couldn't think clearly. My grades started slipping and I always felt extreme fatigue. I lost weight, but became saggy. I did not have perkiness problems or a round waist, and my abs did not appear. The fat is gone, taking with it a significant portion of the already scarce supply of my muscles. In tears, I scoured the forums, talked about my situation, and asked for advice. In a private message, a guy under the username BBBoy93 wrote to me and recommended light steroids for women, which he said were effective and had no side effects. He said that all semi-professional bodybuilders and bikini models use them. He left a link to the site where you can purchase them. I decided to order some pills for a test. After my first dose, I immediately noticed a surge of strength. Training got easier, my brain started thinking again, and I gained a healthy appetite. A month later, my body began to take shape. I started eating right, but it was clear that without these miracle pills, I could never look like the beauties from Instagram, whose photos I gave likes to. I did not want to spend years in the gym if it was possible to get the desired result in just a couple of months, extending my course for another month. After 6 months, I had reached my ideal physique. I was happy with my reflection in the mirror and finally liked myself. I posted photos on Instagram and guys started talking to me. I was happy with the shape I was in. After a while, I stopped taking the pills and relaxed, allowing myself a little more rest and a bit of my favorite dessert. But hardly any time passed before I lost shape again. I became bigger and shapeless. On my belly, it's not that my abs disappeared, but fat showed up there and cellulite on my legs. I went on a strict diet, but even on a calorie deficit without pills, I had to hit the gym regularly, so I wouldn't turn into a blob. I was hysterical, I had no strength, and I saw only one solution to the problem: to return to pills again. I ordered from the same manufacturer, but this time with a larger order for stockpiling. After taking a dose, my strength and appetite always returned. A few months later, my figure was almost perfect again. When I ran into old friends, they were elated at the shape I was in. "What's with your voice?" they asked. That's when I first started noticing the frightening changes to my body. "I must have lost it at a Maroon 5 concert," I said. Then one time at lunch in a cafe with my friends, Joanne whispered to me, "Listen, Kate, psst, you know upper lip hair can be removed with wax." I had never had noticeable hairs before. After a while, hair even began to actively grow on my hips and stomach. My voice became rough and unpleasant, my skin got noticeably worse, and I was covered with acne, and worst of all, the most unexpected zone for me had clearly gotten larger. I tried to remember the last time I had a period, but couldn't. I looked at myself in the mirror, and it was as if I had woken from a deep sleep. How could I have allowed this to happen to me? How did I turn into this? Cinderella lost her slipper at the chimes of the clock, and I, my femininity. I tried so hard to like myself and win the approval of other people that I ruined my own natural body, and all of this came from a complex, a consequence of being in a rush to see results, a misunderstanding of how healthy training should go and what goes into the construction of a beautiful body. Now I'm 23 years old, have been steroid-free for a year now. I want to be healthy and look feminine, but my hormones have not recovered. Never take pills that you don't know anything about. I want to be happy, and I'm learning to love myself for who I am, even now. I continue to visit the gym and haven't lost faith that everything will be okay in the end.